Blessings, beautiful beings. Thank you so much for joining me today for this free December practice. Again, normal props if you have them. If not, it's perfectly okay. But prop wise, if you have yoga blocks, you can grab them. If you don't have yoga blocks, it's fine. You could use books or you don't have to use anything. Also, if you have a blanket or pillows or anything like that, you can grab those too. Again, it's not necessary, it's not required, but if you have it, then you can go ahead and grab it. So we will go ahead and get started. So instead of coming to a cross-legged seat today, we're actually going to come into constructive rest pose to start. So that is going to be knees bent, feet flat on the ground, about hip distance apart, and then you can just lay down. Your palms can be facing up, down, or you can place the pinky side of your fingers on the mat. And then we're going to take a few moments just to focus on our breath and breathe and settle and get ready for our practice today. If you're practicing this in real time, I know there's all sorts of other things that you probably feel like you need to do and accomplish, and that's okay. Those things will still be waiting for you, but really take the time to focus on yourself right now and your well-being and your self-care. All of those things will still be waiting for you when we're done. If it feels good, you can close down the eyes, or if not, you can just soften your gaze. And then just really focus on the inhales and the exhales. Something that I like to do to get really grounded is as I inhale, I like to silently say to myself, in. And then when I exhale, I like to silently say to myself, out. And that really helps me to keep the focus on my breath and not get into my head and think about all the other things that I need to do and accomplish. You can also focus on the temperature of the air. So as you breathe in, you can focus on the coolness of the air. And then as you exhale, you can focus on the warmth of the air leaving your body. We'll take just a couple more breaths, so really breathe into your body. Feel your belly expand and contract. One more big inhale. And then exhale, just let it all go. Right, if you had your eyes closed, you can slowly start to open them, or if you'd like, you can leave your eyes closed through this warm up. But we'll start warming up our body before we start getting into our flow. So to start, let's go ahead and bring our knees into our chest. Now you can raise your head up like I have here if you want a little more, but you don't necessarily have to. You can keep your head on the mat if you would like. Oh, so we'll start here. Really feeling that rounding through the spine. I got a couple of cracks when I did mine earlier. And when you're ready, we're going to keep our right knee in towards our chest, and then go ahead and extend your left leg out along your mat. And we'll take just a couple breaths here. You can do some ankle circles if you like, one way and then the other, just kind of warming up through the ankles too. Alright, then when you're ready, go ahead and bring your right arm out, straight out from your shoulder. And then we're going to take our right knee and turn that over our left. So we're doing kind of this little reclined twist. You can place your right foot kind of on the inside of your left thigh. Just make sure you're not placing it on your knee. And if you'd like, you can turn and look towards your right hand that should be extended just straight out from your shoulder. You can extend your left arm out also, so you can come into like a Texas T, or if you'd like a little more, you can take your left arm and just place that really gently on the top of your right thigh. We'll take a couple breaths here, make sure you're still breathing. Try and keep your right shoulder blade on the ground. If you feel like it's coming up, just come back a little bit more towards center. Don't twist as far. Really focus on the sensation and not so much the shape. Okay, we'll take one more breath here. So one more big, nice inhale. And then exhale it out. When you're ready, go ahead and return to center. And then go ahead and place both feet on the mat. Take your right leg, extend it up towards the ceiling, and then we're going to just cross our ankle over our left knee. So you're just going to butterfly out that right leg. Take a breath here. And on your next inhale, use your abs and lift that left leg up, bringing that right knee in towards your chest. So we're kind of going into a figure four shape here. Now you can just thread your hands through and just interlace them behind your thigh. And that may feel good here. Or if you'd like a little bit more, you can bring it around the top of your shin. Make sure to keep your feet really active. You should feel a nice stretch in the IT band and in your glute here. And then make sure to keep breathing. Again, go to where it feels comfortable to you. You might need a little bit more so you can pull your figure four more into your chest. Or if it's hurting at all, just back off of it a little bit. Okay, let's take one more breath here. Inhale, and then exhale. After your exhale, go ahead and just lower your feet back to the floor, coming back into that constructive rest pose for just a moment. And we'll take just a couple breaths here so you can compare your two sides. My left side feels a little tighter than my right side now. That's okay, we're going to do the same thing on our left side. So to start, let's go ahead and bring our knees back into our chest once again. Again, you can lift your head up if you want a little bit more rounding through the spine, or you can leave it lower on the floor and just let the floor support you. Either way, just make sure that you're still breathing. And as you breathe in, you'll feel your legs kind of pushing against your belly, and that's perfectly okay. We'll take one more breath here. And then we'll exhale. All right, so after that last exhale, Go ahead, we'll keep our left leg in at our chest, and then extend through the right leg. And from here, we'll just breathe for a moment, just stretching further into that left side body. You can take some ankle circles while you're here, just one way and then the other. I'm warming up through our ankles and our feet. Alright, then after your next exhale, go ahead and plant your left palm to the floor, just out straight from your shoulder. And then we are going to twist this left knee over our right side. So again, you can place that left knee on top of the inner right thigh. You can bring your right arm out so you have like this Texas T. You can bring that right arm on top of your left thigh, just really gently for a little bit more. And you can also look out towards your left hand. So you have options here. Take whatever feels good to you. The one option that you don't have is you do have to keep breathing. So make sure that you're doing that at the very least. If you feel like your left shoulder blade is coming up off the floor, then go ahead and come back towards the center a little bit. Don't twist as far. Take one more breath here. A nice big inhale, and then a cleansing exhale. All right, when you're ready, go ahead and return back to center, placing both feet on the mat. We'll send our left leg up towards the ceiling, and then go ahead and bend at the knee, and we're going to butterfly that over our right thigh. On an inhale, connect with your core, and then lift that right leg up, and then we'll go ahead and thread through, either coming behind the thigh or on the shin. So again, yogi's choice, do what feels good to you. My left side is a little tighter than my right was, so I'm not going to try and pull my leg all the way up to my chest. So again, go to where it feels good to you today. All right, from here, take one more inhale and exhale to let it all go. Now from here, just uncross your left leg from your right, and then cross your feet at the ankles, and then just grab onto the outer edges of your feet. From here, you can rock up and down the length of your spine to come into a nice seated position. If that does not feel good to you, then just roll over to whatever your favorite side is, and be very mindful and careful when you push yourself up to a seated position. Now, if you would like to bring a blanket underneath to sit on, that's fine. We're not going to be here for a super long time. We're just going to do one little stretch here. But if you'd like that, that can help to just raise your hips up, and it puts less pressure on your knees. Otherwise, come to a comfortable seat. We'll just take a couple breaths here, since we were just on our backs and now we're not. All right, when you're ready, we're going to take our right hand, place that on the mat, nice and flat and firm, and reach your left arm and fingers up towards the ceiling. Take a nice big inhale, And on an exhale, come across that center midline. So you should feel a nice stretch in your left side body. And breathe. Make sure that your shoulders are creeping up towards your ears, so make sure your shoulders are nice and down. And then also make sure you're not collapsing through your neck. So your neck should be nice and in line with your spine here. It also helps to try and angle your chest up towards the ceiling, so you're not collapsing and rounding. Take one more inhale here. And on your exhale, come up through center and then just release. All right, we'll take just a couple breaths here. Compare your two sides. I feel a lot of length in my left side. My right side is a little collapsed feeling. Feel a little uneven. All right, when you're ready, we're going to place our left palm flat on the floor. Extend your right fingertips up towards the ceiling. Take a nice big inhale, and then exhale, cross over that midline, coming into a nice side stretch on your right side. And breathe. Dogs are all very sleepy today. They went to the dog park yesterday and played with Franco all weekend. So you can see Fritz's head over here. He's very zenned out and asleep. He's a very tired pup. We'll take one more breath. And exhale and return back to center and let it all go. So we've warmed up the side body, we've warmed up the legs. Let's work on warming up our spine just a little bit. So you can transition onto all fours in a tabletop position. Now if your knees hurt at all, or I'm on hardwood floor, my mat's pretty thick, but if you want a little more cushioning, this is where a blanket or a towel or something can come in handy. You can place that underneath your knees and that will help to support them. If you don't have that, it's okay too, or if you don't need it, it's okay also, if you're on carpet or anything like that. All right, so knees underneath our hip points, hands underneath our shoulders, spine nice and straight and long. We're going to inhale, drop our lower ribs, lift our head, lift our tail, coming into a cow pose. Exhale, round through the spine, bring those upper ribs up towards the ceiling, tuck the tail, tuck the head, cat pose. Inhale, dropping those lower ribs towards the floor, lifting the tail, lifting the head, cow. Exhale, rounding through the spine, tucking the tail, tucking the head, cat. Go ahead and do a few more cycles on your own with your own breath. And if one of these postures feels good to you, then stay in it for a breath or two. Just warming up through the spine a little bit. All right, let's take one more. So on an inhale again, drop the lower ribs, lift the tail, lift the head, cow. And exhale, we're going to round through the spine, tuck the tail, tuck the head, cat. After your exhale, go ahead and come to a neutral tabletop position and extend your knees as wide as the mat, bringing your big toes to touch. On an inhale, look forward, and on an exhale, shift your hips back, and then you can walk your hands forward and melt your forehead down to the mat, coming into an extended child's pose. Now, if your forehead doesn't quite reach the mat, that's okay. You can bring a block or a blanket or a pillow to bring the floor up to you. But once you're here, just take a few moments to breathe. After your next exhale, go ahead and look forward. Come back up into your tabletop position. And then once you're in your tabletop position, go ahead and just walk your palm one palm print in front of where it was. So it shouldn't be directly underneath your shoulder. Really push into your thumb, your pointer finger, and your middle finger. And we're going to tuck our toes. All right, we're going to get ready to flow. So on your next inhale, go ahead and lift the shins and just hover. Floating tabletop. On your exhale, go ahead and straighten through the legs. Shift your weight up, back, and down, coming into your first downward facing dog. Now from here, if you'd like to pedal your feet, you can, just bending one knee and then the other. Just kind of warming up a little bit through the calves, and the hamstrings. When you're ready, go ahead and bring that to stillness. And it's okay if your heels don't touch the mat. Mine don't touch the mat, so don't feel like you need to push yourself to get to that shape. All right, we'll take one more inhale here. And an exhale. And then on your next inhale, make sure your left foot, you're really firmly rooted in that left foot. And on an inhale, just lift your right leg up. Keep your toes pointed down towards the mat. So it doesn't have to come all the way up. It can be down a little bit lower. And on your exhale, bend the knee, shift forward, look forward, bringing that knee towards the chest. And then we're going to step that right foot up in between our hands, coming into a nice low lunge. Now go ahead and lower that left knee to the mat. You can untuck the toes if you'd like. And lift up through the chest. We'll breathe here for just a moment. Your right knee should be at a 90-degree angle, and so it shouldn't be going over your ankle at all. It should just be at a nice 90 degree. And then make sure that your knee is, I want to say pointing out towards your pinky toe, so you should be able to see your big toe from here. When you're ready, we're going to take our right hand. So our hands were framing our foot. We're going to take our right hand around to the inside of our right foot. So both your hands should be kind of side by side. And then walk your right foot out as wide as the mat and turn your toes so they're just off the mat. Coming into a nice lizard variation. So you can stay up here on your hands if you'd like, or if you'd like a little bit more of a stretch in that left hip flexor, you can come down to your elbows. Again, if this feels like too much for you, then come up onto your hands. Just keep your chest nice and straight. All right, we'll take one more breath here. then after your next exhale, go ahead and walk your foot back in line. Bring your right hand to the other side of your foot. And then we're going to tuck our left toes under, lift that knee off the floor, and then step our right foot to meet our left foot, coming into a plank pose. Now make sure you're pushing through the heels. Your back should be nice and straight. You shouldn't be dipping or rounding or anything like that. So you will be nice and straight. If you're shaking, that's okay. Embrace it, you're alive. Take one more breath. And on your exhale, slowly lower all the way down to the mat. You can bring your knees down first and then lower, or you can just belly flop down if you like. I would recommend that. Once you're on your belly, untuck your toes. Make sure your hands are underneath your shoulders. And then on an inhale, slowly rise up and look forward. We're coming into a little baby cobra to start, just to warm up. Take a couple breaths here. Take one more inhale. And on your next exhale, go ahead and lower your forehead back to the mat. All right, from here, go ahead and tuck your toes under. Push yourself to all fours. Inhale, look forward. Really press into those fingers again. And on an exhale, lift the knees up, back and down, coming back into our downward facing dog. And just breathe here for a moment. We'll take one more breath here. So take a nice big inhale. And then exhale. You can even sigh it out if you'd like. All right, so on our next inhale, we're going to lift our left foot up. Keep your toes dialed down towards your mat. And on your exhale, bend through the knee, shift forward, look forward, and then we're going to step that left foot in between our hands. Again, you can lower on that right knee and tucking your toes. And then make sure your chest is nice and lifted. You're coming into that nice low lunge. So you should feel a really nice stretch on that left hip flexor. Take a couple moments to breathe here. This is a place where if you need some blocks to kind of bring yourself up, this is good. All right, and then when you're ready, we're going to take our left hand and bring that to the inside of our left foot. Go ahead and walk your left foot out to the edge of the mat and then turn those left toes just so they're slightly off the mat. So it's kind of like at a 45-degree angle. Coming back into that lizard posture. So you can either stay here, nice and lifted, or if you'd like a little bit more of a stretch, you can come down to your forearms. So your elbows will go where your hands were when you were up, basically. Take one more inhale here. And then exhale, let it all go. If you're on your forearms, go ahead and push yourself back up. And we're going to return that left foot back closer to the center, or at least in between our hands. Tuck your right toes under, lift the right knee up. Then we're going to step our left foot back to meet our right foot, coming back into that plank again. We'll take just a couple breaths here. One more. And then on an exhale, you can lower all the way down to your belly. All right, from here on your next inhale, you can rise up into your baby cobra, or this time, if you'd like a little bit more, push through your hands, and you can rise up a little more, keeping your pelvis on the ground. Now, if you feel any crunchiness in your lower back, lower down a little bit. And if you feel your shoulders coming up to be earmuffs, make sure your shoulder blades are up, back, and down. So your chest should really be opening up and forward. All right, we'll take one more inhale. And on an exhale, lower all the way down to your mat. All right, when you're ready, you can tuck the toes and come to all fours. Or if you want a little bit more, we'll take an inhale here. And on an exhale, push yourself all the way back up into a plank. Take another inhale. And on an exhale, we'll shift our hips up, back, and down, coming back into our downward facing dog. And breathe. Okay, we'll take one more big inhale here and an exhale. You can even sigh it out to let it all go. Right, on your next inhale, look forward. And on your exhale, we're going to make our way up to the top of the mat. So you can take little baby steps like I'm doing. You can hop. You can take one big step, whatever feels good in your body today. And I'm going to keep my knees hip distance apart with a little bit of a bend in them. Inhale, come up halfway, flat back. Exhale, let it all go, forward fold. Now you should be feeling a nice stretch through your hamstrings. If you're feeling it through your lower back at all, I would bend your knees a little bit more generously. And if you're having any trouble trying to get your hands down to the mat, this is another place where you can use blocks or textbooks or anything like that that you have lying around to bring the floor to you. So that way you end up feeling this more in your hamstrings and not so much your back. Make sure you're not walking out through your knees at all. We'll take one more big breath here. And on your exhale, go ahead and roll it all the way back up to a standing posture. So from here, go ahead and fix your clothes if you need to fix them at all. Take any movements you need. Really feel grounded into your mat. And loop your shoulders up, back, and down. Coming into a little bit of a mountain pose here. On your next inhale, go ahead and sweep your arms up towards the ceiling. Palms facing each other. And breathe. So feeling a nice stretch through our side body again. We'll take one more big breath in. And on an exhale, go ahead and shift the hips back, and we're going to float back down into our forward fold. Inhale, come up halfway, flat back. Exhale, release, coming into that fold again. And breathe. All right, after your next exhale, we're going to step our right leg back, and then our left leg, we're going to come back into that plank one more time. So just breathe here. Take one more inhale, and on an exhale, lower all the way back down to your belly. Inhale, we'll rise up into a cobra or into a baby cobra, and breathe. One more inhale here, and exhale, release back down to the mat. Right, inhale, go ahead and tuck your toes. On an exhale, come to all fours or push up to plank. Take another inhale wherever you're at. And on the exhale, we'll shift our hips up, back, and down, coming back into our downward facing dog. Take a moment just to breathe here. You can pedal out the feet if you'd like. Shake your head. Or you can just be still and listen to whatever your body needs and do that. All right, on your next inhale, go ahead and really root through your left foot. We're going to lift our right foot up, toes pointed down towards the mat. Exhale, bend at the knee, shift forward, look forward, and then step your right foot in between your hands. Go ahead and hop that left foot in a little bit, turning it out at a 45-degree angle. And then on an inhale, really from your center, rise up. Bring your torso up. Okay. From here, we're going to shift to look at the long edge of our mat. Bring that right knee into a 90-degree angle. Again, knee should be pointing out towards your little toe, so you should be able to look down and see your big toe right there. And then from here, bring your torso really to center. So we're coming into a warrior two. Now, if this feels good, you can stay here, or if you'd like, you can raise your arms out to the side. And then imagine that you are pinching a pencil in between your shoulder blades. So bring your pinkies towards the back. So you should be really lifting up through your chest and then feeling that push and pull. Make sure you're not drifting too far forward or back. So just nice and centered. Then if you'd like, you can turn your head to look over your right fingertips and breathe. One more breath here. And when you're ready, keep that right front knee bent. We're going to lift our right fingertips up towards the ceiling, lowering our left fingertips down towards our left thigh. And then you can turn your head and look towards your right palm, coming into a humble warrior. Make sure to keep breathing here. Take one more breath. And let it all go. Go ahead and return back to that warrior two position for just a breath. And when you're ready, we're going to take our right hand or our right arm and place it on your right thigh. You can bring your left hand to your hip. And then you want to spiral your chest up towards the ceiling. So we're coming into a little extended side angle. Now, if it's in your practice, you could use a block to come down onto your hand or your fingertips. Just make sure that you're not collapsing through your back. You want your chest to really reach up and spiral towards the ceiling. So you can imagine like you're smearing honey across your chest. You want that opening. Now you could lift your left arm up towards the ceiling, or you could bring it up by your ear. Just make sure you're not losing that twist in your chest. All right, when you've had enough, I'm going to drop my left arm down. I'm going to pivot on my left foot, coming into a low lunge here. And then I'm going to step my right foot back to meet my left, coming back into our plank pose. Take just a couple breaths here. One more big inhale. And on an exhale, lower back down to the belly. On your next, we'll take another inhale. And then exhale. Then on your next inhale, go ahead and rise up into your cobra. breathing. One more inhale here. And on your exhale, go ahead and lower back down towards your mat. Right, on your inhale, you can tuck your toes. Exhale, come up to plank or to all fours. Inhale, and then on an exhale, shift your hips up, back, and down, downward facing dog. We'll stay here for just a moment. Really compare both sides of your body and see how you're feeling. We'll take one more breath here. On your exhale, just sigh it all out. Just let it all go. All right, so now we get to repeat that whole thing on the other side. So on your next inhale, make sure your right foot is really rooted into the mat. And lift your left foot up, just slightly, keeping your toes pointed down towards your mat. Exhale, go ahead and bend through that knee, shift forward, look forward, and then you're gonna step that left foot in between your palms, coming into that low lunge again. You can step your right foot up a little bit, and then on your inhale, really from your core, rise up, and then turn to face the long edge of your mat. So I'm gonna be backwards here, so you all get a look at my back. But we're gonna come back into that warrior two on this side. So make sure, again, your left knee is bent at a nice 90-degree angle. Knee pressing out towards your pinky toe. You should be able to see your big toe when you look down. Right foot will be turned in a little bit. You can extend your arms out to either side, and then you can turn to look towards your left fingertips. Again, make sure you're squeezing that pencil in between your shoulder blades, and breathe. On your next inhale, go ahead and lift your left fingertips up towards the ceiling. Lower your right palm down, coming into our humble warrior. Make sure your front knee is still bent. And after your next exhale, go ahead and return back to that warrior two. Take a quick breath here, and then after your exhale, go ahead and bring your left forearm onto your left thigh. Spiral your chest up towards the ceiling, coming into this modified extended side angle pose. Make sure to keep breathing. Again, if it's in your practice, you can lift your right arm up towards the ceiling, or you can stretch it out overhead. You can also take your left arm and place it on the floor or on a block. Just make sure you're not losing that spiral in your chest. Okay, we'll take one more breath wherever you're at. And when you're ready, we're going to lower that right arm down. Pivot on your right foot. We're going to place our hands back on the mat, coming back into that low lunge. Then when you're ready, step your left foot back to meet your right foot, coming back into our plank pose again. Again, we'll just take a couple breaths here. When you're ready, on an exhale, lower all the way down to the mat. Inhale, rise up into cobra. Take just a couple breaths here. And on your next exhale, go ahead and melt it back down to the mat. All right, on your next inhale, tuck your toes. And on your exhale, push yourself up to a plank. Again, we only have one more plank after this. Breathe. more inhale. Exhale, shift the hips up, back, and down, coming back into our downward facing dog. And we're going to take one more inhale here. Exhale, sigh it all out. Let it go. And on your next inhale, again, look forward. We're going to make our way up towards the top of the mat. So again, you can hop, step, jump, float, however you'd like to get there. And then from here, once your feet meet your hands, go ahead and generously bend through the knees, bringing your torso onto your thighs. Now from here, start to rise up. We're going to sit back. So we're coming into a little chair pose. Now if this feels good to you here, stay here. Otherwise you can lift your arms forward. So this is a really good practice if you're going to go to any sporting events, concerts, anything like that where you might have to use a porta potty or a disgusting public bathroom. Women, sometimes we have to hover. This is great practice for that. Breathe. If you feel a little shake in your legs, that's okay. Again, you're alive. Embrace it. Take one more breath here. And on an exhale, slowly come to a standing position. Again, fix your clothes if you need to. Take any movements you need. Loop your shoulders up, back, and down. Lift through the chest. Hands at your side. We're going to come into a mountain pose. Now, really connect with the ground. Let me move over here so you can see my feet. So really, I know you guys have not seen her on video yet, but I do have a cat also. Her name is Chai. And you have cats, they like to do the little, where they paw you. So pretend you're a cat and really paw at the earth with your feet. Really make a connection from your feet to your brain, that feeling, that sensation. You can even, I know after my dogs poop, they like to kick the dirt. So you can kind of do the dog poop, kick the dirt thing. You can even kind of move your feet around. You just really want to make sure you feel the ground. That's going to help you get really grounded. Also, if you're not real ticklish on your feet, you can bring one foot on top of the other and just touch it. But once you feel really nice and grounded, go ahead and come to stillness. You can close your eyes if that helps. It helps me. And just breathe for a few moments. You can imagine like there's a helium balloon that's coming up from your cervical spine back here, like the tail of it, and it's just lifting you up. And that's going to help to lift your chest up and to really, you want to make sure that your hips aren't like pushing out, so you're like sticking your booty out. And you also want to make sure you're not tucking it in like you're all rounded. Nice and neutral, and that kind of helps. If you think about a balloon lifting up your spine, it kind of helps you to think about that, because you're going to come from this point and pull up. Okay, we'll take one more breath here. And all of that was to prepare you for a balancing posture. If you need a wall or something, a chair, a wall, there's a cat outside of my door. Hopefully these dogs don't go crazy, but it just came walking by. It was a very pretty cat. So, a couple of things with balancing postures. Again, that's why we were doing the grounding, making sure we're really grounded. Be very careful, be very safe. Don't go further than what feels good in your body. Another thing to help with balancing is find a spot somewhere in the room that is not moving. So you don't necessarily have to look at me. You can look at me to start and then find a point somewhere that's not moving to look at. You can look at someplace on the floor. Just pick something to focus on. All right, from here, let's go ahead. I'm going to move over a little bit. I'm going to shift my weight to my left side. Now, when I shift my weight to the left side, I'm not going to dump all my weight in the left side and get the mom hip, fiance hip, pushing it out. I'm not doing that. You want to keep that power and that strength in that foot. Keep a little bend in your knee and then just really lift up. Now you can go ahead and come up onto just your toes on your right foot. If you'd like to keep your hands at your hip, you can. And then from here, just butterfly that knee out to the right side, keeping your foot on your ankle. Now, if you'd like a little more, you can slide your foot up to your calf. Or if you'd like a little more, you can bring your foot up to the inside of your thigh. Really, woo! I'm not focusing on one thing, I'm looking at myself as I'm doing this. Really push your left thigh into your right foot and your right foot into your left thigh. So those two oppositional forces will come together and just kind of work against each other to bring that strength up. If that makes sense. Maybe not. From here, you can leave your hands on your hips. Woo! You can bring your hands into heart center. Or if you're familiar with tree pose and you feel really good and grounded, you can grow your branches and lift them up towards the sky. Make sure to keep breathing while you do this. If you're really advanced, you can close your eyes and look up. Okay, one more breath here. And on an exhale, go ahead and slowly release. Shake out your feet if you need to. Shake it all out. Recenter yourself. And if you fell through that or you fell out of the posture, don't worry about it. It's fine. It is a practice. Every day your body's going to be different. It's going to depend on how much sleep you got, what you ate, how much water you drank, any activities that you've done. It's really going to depend on the day. So yoga is a practice. If you're not perfect, it's okay. I'm not either. I'm a little wobbly on my left side today for some reason. It's okay. Let it go. Big inhale. Exhale, let it all go. You can even, like, I always do this. I don't explain what I'm doing, but I'm just flicking it off. Just flicking it. It's gone. Done with it. All right. I'll stop talking now. All right. Go ahead and shift your weight to your right side again. Make sure you're not pushing your hip out. No mom hips. So just up. Nice and strengthened. And then if you're ready, go ahead and just lift your heel up on your left foot. Keep your left toes on the mat. And then you can butterfly that left leg out, bringing that heel to your ankle, your calf, or you can bring it all the way up to your thigh. Wherever you land, make sure that it is not on your knee joint. And breathe. Woo! Your hands can be on your hips. They can be at heart center. Or you can grow your branches and breathe. We'll take one more breath here. Exhale, let it all go. My music stopped, so I'm going to turn that back on. Let it all go, and then we'll come back to our mountain pose for just a breath. All right. When you are ready, go ahead and bring your feet wider than your hips. And we're going to move any stuck energy around. If you practiced with me before, we're going to move into what's called knocking on heaven's door. I guess for those of you that have not practiced with me before, that's what it's called. But what you want to do, and it looks funny, but stick with me. We'll only do it for a moment here. Do it for a minute. What you'll do is you're going to shift from one side to the other, just bringing your hands one way and then the other way, coming up onto the ball of your foot. Now your hand can smack your booty. You can go as fast or as slow as you would like. You can keep your eyes closed. If you want your hands to move differently, you can bring your hand, one hand up to hit your chest and then one to your back like I'm doing here. This is just moving stuck energy around. This is used in yoga, in qigong, in tai chi, and it's all to move any stuck energy around. So we've done a lot of movement to heat up our bodies. We're going to move any energy that's stuck. It's funny. You can bring a smile to your face, laugh at yourself. I'm putting myself on YouTube and on all the socials doing this, so if I'm doing it, you all had better be doing it with me so I don't look foolish by myself. Of course, I'm just in my house with the dogs, but still. Okay, let's go. All right, we'll start to slow it down. You can bring the hands out away from you and just go slow, like you're dipping your hands through water, through a field, until you come into stillness. And then once you come into stillness, go ahead and bring your feet in. Loop your shoulders up, back and down. Imagine that balloon on the back of your cervical spine just lifting you up, and breathe. Feel all of the nutrients of your practice go through your body. All right, and when you're ready, we're going to transition back down to the mat. So if you're not at the top of your mat, go ahead and come to the top of your mat or make your way there. Inhale, we'll lift our arms up, coming into that volcano pose. Exhale, float down, coming into a forward fold. Inhale, rise up halfway, flat back. Exhale, let it all go. From here, we're going to step one foot back and then the other foot back. Coming into our final plank pose, just breathe here for a moment. One more inhale. And on an exhale, instead of coming down, we're going to shift our hips up, back, and down, coming into a downward facing dog. So I changed it up on you. Take just a couple breaths here. One more breath. And on an exhale, go ahead and lower the knees down to the mat. All right. Go ahead and bring your knees as wide as the mat, big twisted touch. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, shift it back, coming back into that extended child's pose. So you can melt your forehead down to the mat. And we'll take a couple breaths here, just slowly cooling everything back down and slowing down. After your next exhale, go ahead and come up slowly and go ahead and we're going to come to a little bit of a seat. So from here, we're going to take our right leg underneath us, take our left leg on top. So we're going to come into what's called cow legs. So you can bend that right knee under, and then just, you can, if this doesn't work in your body, that's okay. You can come into more of this shape to where your right leg is underneath you and the left leg is just crossed over that right leg. If you'd like a little more, you can start to straighten those legs, keeping the knees crossed and together. And then you can bring your hands to your feet. And then breathe. If you'd like a little bit more, you can walk your hands forward and rounding over those knees. Otherwise, you can just stay up. All right, now we're going to transition to the other side. So this is really fun. Go ahead and bring your hands over to that right side. Then with your left foot, go ahead and start to straighten it. Or start to bring your left foot to the mat. You'll kind of push yourself up. You are going to get a booty shot here. And then bring your right foot down, and you can transition through, and you can turn around towards that left side, and then voila, you just switched your legs. Again, if this does not feel good in your body, bring it in a little bit more. It doesn't have to be as far out. If your knees don't come together, that's okay too. Don't worry about it. Work a little bit to get there, and your flexibility will increase. It could take years. I've been doing this for several years. There are still people out there that are way more flexible than I am, and that's okay. Different body shapes, different body structures, all of that all plays a role. Another option you have if this doesn't feel good to you is you can just come to a little cross-legged seat too. All right, when you've had enough of that, let's go ahead and just come to a cross-legged seat really quickly. And then we're going to extend our right leg out, extend our left leg out, and we're going to come into a little bit of a forward fold. Now, if you have a blanket or a pillow or anything like that, let me get myself together here. You can bring this to you. Inhale, sit up nice and tall and straight, and exhale, you can round forward and just kind of hug it, coming into a forward fold. Now your legs don't have to be in a split. They can be closer together than what mine are. If you don't have a pillow or blanket, you can just walk your hands forward to where it feels comfortable to you. It's going to depend again on your body, how flexible you are, how it feels today, lots of different things. So listen to your body, go to where it feels good to you. If you feel any pain or anything hurts, come up. You don't have to come all the way down. It's not a huge deal. You can stay up here if you'd like. Everyone's going to be different. I'm just guiding you and giving you some options. Okay, we'll take one more breath here. Exhale, and slowly bring the legs back to center. You can spin around on your mat, and we're going to come into our final resting posture. You guys made it through class today. Yay! So we're going to come into Shavasana or corpse pose. Get anything that you need to feel comfortable in this final resting posture. I don't think I've demoed this before, but if you have a bolster or a pillow, you can bring that underneath your thighs. Make sure it's underneath your thighs and not underneath your knees. You want it more back here. And then you can lay down. And let your arms open to the sky. They can be grounded into the mat, pinky side to the ground. You can bring your hands to your belly to breathe, or hand to your heart and one to your belly to breathe. If you have a blanket, you can kind of make a little makeshift pillow and bring that underneath your neck. So again, set up in your most comfortable Shavasana pose that you have. Make sure your shoulder blades are snuggled under your heart space. And then if it feels good to your body, you feel comfortable, close your eyes and then just let your body relax wherever you're at and breathe. Now I'm going to go quiet here for a moment, but just know that I'm watching the time and I will bring you guys out of the posture when that time comes. So, for those of you that have never practiced with me before, for every practice I pull an oracle card and then I read the message for the practice. For today, I pulled Wolf Spirit. And its message is turn knowledge into wisdom. So it says, Wolf Spirit leads you deep into the enchanted forest that holds the secrets to your life. Can you sense her beckoning you to follow, asking you to take all you have learned and all you are learning and make it yours? Can you integrate it all into your body, mind, and spirit? Whatever lessons you learned along the way, do not leave them unexamined. Turning the page. Be loyal to your dreams, to your soul, and to turning knowledge into wisdom and experience into magic. You are the one you have been waiting for. Be still and know that the sound of your heart beats in harmony with the whole world. The appearance of Wolf Spirit is an auspicious omen that says you are truly in alignment with your destiny. Which is an awesome message for this final month of our year of 2021. All right, if you would like to stay in Shavasana, stay as long as time allows you. If you need to get going, then slowly start to deepen your breaths. Gently wiggle fingers and toes, just bringing life back into them. And then when you're ready, slowly place both your feet on the floor. You can roll onto your favorite side and then come into a little fetal position and just rest there for a few breaths. And when you are ready, go ahead and push yourself into a seated position, bringing your head and neck up last. And then if you'd like, you can open your eyes. Thank you so much for spending your time and your energy and your practice with me. today and through this whole year so far that I've been making these videos. I know it hasn't quite been a year yet, but this is the final free practice that I'll do for December. I'll be back in January with a whole new practice, so that will be exciting. If you would like more, I do have a Patreon account to where I actually record these videos every week and I post them on there. It's $10 a month, but you have access to all new videos that I make, and then also the whole library of old videos. So on YouTube, I do a free video like this one, and then for the rest of the month, all my videos are through that Patreon account. But thank you so much for your support this last year. I hope everyone has a great holiday season. It's restful, it's not super stressful and crazy. Let me know in the comments below if you have any suggestions for different things that you'd like to work on or any ideas. Or any comments at all would be great. Also, please like and share this video with anyone that you think would love it, or maybe they need it and they don't know it yet, or maybe they need it and they do know they need it. Either way, please share. You can click to subscribe. I'm going to put a little button there. I think it's going to go right there. We'll see. But thank you again so much for your support and just for sharing your time with me. Best of luck for the rest of the year, and I will see you in the new year. Namaste.